This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV.
It's Thankful Thursday, a pause in the chaos to notice what still holds up, keeps us going, or surprised us this week in the best way. Gratitude lives here. It's
A boss be rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it.
All right, y'all, buckle up because this one is layered and it is not just about frozen dinners. Today, we're talking about parenting under pressure, resentment you didn't expect to feel, money, stress, cultural differences in food, and what happens when an overwhelmed adult collides with an 80-year-old who didn't ask to be here. Okay, we've got a dad who never wanted kids, now juggling a toddler and a suddenly full-time daughter in a one-bedroom apartment. We've got an uprooted child adjusting to a brand new life. We've got microwavable meals, expensive noodles, hurt feelings, and one sentence that sets the internet on fire. And as always, we're not just here to drag someone or hand out easy labels. We're here to peel back what's really going on because sometimes what looks like ingratitude is fear. And sometimes what looks like cruelty is exhaustion. So let's walk through it carefully, keep it honest, and figure out where the line actually is. Okay, let's see here. 1 second, please. Let me load this up. I'm not prepared for some reason. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Ha ha ha. Okay. Now. Here we go. And here we go. Am I the a-hole for wanting a thank you? This situation. She's female, 29, sister, who is 26 female, got a new car and picked it up on her lunch break, leaving behind her old car. She was not trading it in. She asked if she could pick me up after work, take me 30 minutes out of town to grab it, drive it back to her house, then drive me back to work so I can do my 45-minute commute home. The errand itself was uneventful. The only issue being that she did not once utter a thank you. Not when she asked, not when she got me, and not when she dropped me off. I don't ask for gas or compensation when I do things for her. This is the norm for her. I am so conditioned to not receive thanks that I didn't even realize that it never occurred until she had sped off and I was in my car. So, after doing this task, I decided I am done doing things for her. Yes, family helps each other, but they don't take advantage of each other either. I am tired of being used for her purposes and pretty much ignored, which is cool because she is a piece of work anyways. The rest of the time. All right. To be continued here. 2 days after the car thing and my resignation to go back to setting boundaries and saying no, she messaged me asking me to do the exact same thing because this used car she bought off of a sketchy lot is leaking brake fluid and they have to fix it. I said I was sorry, but no. She doesn't ever offer thanks or an ounce of gratitude when I do help her, and then just expects me to keep doing stuff for her. I was done. Well, this went over about how you can expect. It was like me asking for a thank you was too much or too rich for her blood or something. She started verbally attacking me, telling me that I should hear what people say about me. I'm a loser and a user, that I am going nowhere in life, and that I am the most selfish and self-centered person on the planet. Now, I know one of those. It's not you. Hello, Plus Sister. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. How are you, Plus Sister? So she then threatened me. She has a hand me down bookcase and mattress of mine in her storage unit, but only because she divorced and moved into the spare room where my mom was using my furniture. My unit is currently full, and I live with my aunt for school and work in another area. All right, here comes another one. So this turned into her telling me I can come get my storage crap that will be sitting outside her unit. Oh my goodness. That day, goodness. I'm so glad to hear you're wonderful because I think you're wonderful. Let's see. I was working on zero sleep in 48 hours. So I told her that today doesn't work, but we can do it this weekend, like we have discussed several times already. This isn't good enough for her. So she is taking it to the dump. Oh my goodness. Oh, whatever. I don't have to deal with her now. But now she is posting on Facebook, and my family is piling on. That family should support you and drop whatever to help you no matter what. That they shouldn't have to say thank you or show gratitude. Oh my, I love helping people and help many people beyond her, but I always get a thank you. Am I in the wrong? Are you obligated to help your family, especially when they abuse your kindness, and then turn around and attack you when you say no? All this over wanting a thank you. I, what's so bad about a thank you is what I want to know. Let me make sure I understand this correctly first, though. So your sister asked you to rearrange your entire afternoon, get picked up after work, when you're ready to go home, drive 30 minutes out of town to retrieve her old car. Okay, that's an hour round trip, right? Drive it back to her house, then drop you back off. That's more than an hour, right? So you can still make your 45-minute commute home. What, 2 hours later? And at no point during this multi step inconvenience does she utter the words, thank you. Not once. Not when she asked, or when she asked you, not when she picked you up, not when you completed the mission, not even when you dropped her off or she dropped you off. And this isn't new behavior. Okay, come on. This is her normal. Are you kidding me? Are you so conditioned to not receiving basic acknowledgement from her that you didn't even register it until she sped off? And you're sitting there thinking, wait a minute, let me tell you something very clearly. Okay, wanting a thank you is not petty. It's not dramatic. It's not selfish. It is baseline human decency. Gratitude is the smallest currency in relationships, any kind of relationship. It costs nothing. Okay. It requires no gas money. It doesn't require emotional labor. It's two words that signal, pardon me, I recognize that you did not have to do that for me. Now, here's what actually happened. You didn't confront her, you didn't blow up. Okay. You didn't react. Good girl. That's wonderful. It's polite. Very, very true. Exactly my point. It's polite. What's wrong with those two words? There's nothing wrong. And I mean, come on. It's easy. Thank you. You're not asking, or she's not asking for any kind of compensation here either, right? You didn't send a long emotional message demanding validation or even compensation. You quietly decided you were done overextending. That is called recalibrating access. Now, that is what healthy boundaries look like. When someone repeatedly benefits from your kindness without acknowledgement, then 2 days later, she comes back asking for the exact same favor because the used car she bought off of a sketchy lot is leaking brake fluid. Oh, mercy me. First of all, we are not ignoring that detail. You want someone to assist you in retrieving a vehicle that may or may not stop properly, and you still can't muster a thank you. The audacity is fascinating. You say no, you explain why. You are calm, you are direct, you point out that she does not offer gratitude, and you are done continuing that pattern, right? And instead of self reflection, she launches into character assassination. Of course, she does. Suddenly, you're a loser, you're going nowhere, you're selfish and self centered. That reaction tells you everything. When someone responds to a boundary with insults instead of introspection, they were benefiting from your lack of one. Hello. And then we escalate to the storage unit threat. She has your bookcase and mattress because of her divorce situation. And now that you have said no, she's threatening to put your belongings outside or take them to the dump immediately. Ooh, somebody needs to grow up. My goodness, that is not about logistics. That's about retaliation. You know it is. Someone trying to punish you for removing access. Let's talk about this family narrative floating around. Oh, Facebook. Oh, Facebook. Come on. Because this is where it gets manipulative. Family should support you no matter what. You shouldn't have to say thank you. That's not support. That is obligation dressed up as virtue. I said it. Support does not erase gratitude. In fact, the closer the relationship, the more gratitude matters because you're supposed to care about preserving it. You're not obligated to drop everything for someone who consistently treats your time like it has no value. And you're not obligated to help someone who weaponizes your boundaries. You don't have to tolerate verbal abuse because you decline a favor. And you are definitely not obligated to accept a public smear campaign because you asked for basic respect. I'm sorry. You're right. Being polite is respectful, right, Nisi? It's polite. It's respectful. Why can't people do that? Oh my gosh. I just want to shake this one. I just wake up, honey. It's time to wake up. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Okay, some families confuse unconditional love with unconditional access. They think blood equals entitlement, and it doesn't. Love without respect turns into resentment. Period. Full stop. And you're already feeling that resentment build. The fact that you love helping people and receive gratitude from literally everyone else tells me the issue is not your expectation level. The issue is her pattern. And let's address something important. You did not ask her to grovel. You didn't demand repayment. You didn't ask for praise. Oh my gosh. You wanted acknowledgement. When someone cannot give you even that, they are not being generous with your relationship. It's true. They are consuming it. You, oh, so are you the villain here? No, no, no. You're someone who has finally recognized that repeated and acknowledged labor is draining. You are someone who said, I'm done participating in a one sided dynamic. Nothing wrong with that. That's not selfish. It's not anything but self respecting. Now, the real question isn't whether you're wrong. The real question is whether you're prepared to hold that boundary when the noise continues. Because once you step out of a role that benefits others, they'll try to push you back into it real quick. The insults, the Facebook posts, the family pile-on. That is pressure designed to make you cave. But here's the thing. If saying no to one errand causes this level of explosion, imagine how much quiet resentment you've been swallowing for years. You are not wrong for wanting a thank you. Mm-mm. No, not at all. Not at all. And me and Nisi, we're right here with you, honey. You are not wrong for declining the second favor. You're not wrong for refusing to be verbally attacked and then immediately expected to perform labor again. Family support should be mutual. I mean, does she have nobody else? Are you just the closest to her? Gratitude should be normal. Respect should be non negotiable. And if someone thinks those standards are too high, that tells you more about their character than yours. Plain and simple. And usually it's not all that great, unfortunately. I wish I could say differently, but that's not the case. All right, we do have some comments that I thought were fairly worthy. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Now, back over here. Not the a hole. See, nobody thinks you're the a hole. A healthy family who gets along great absolutely does help each other, but they also offer each other gratitude and kind words. Amen. She has done none of that. She just expects you to help because you're family. All right, fork her. Oh, goodness. I'm so glad I changed that one. Huh? If she can't even say, oh, sorry, you're right. I forgot to say thanks, but I do appreciate the help, as opposed to personally attacking you, she's not someone you want to spend a lot of time with or do any favors for. I agree. I really agree. Not the a hole. Healthy family that gets along absolutely helps each other. Absolutely. But they also offer gratitude and kind words. That is exactly it. And that right there is the key difference. Help is not the problem. Expectation without appreciation is the problem. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? There is a massive gap between we support each other and you owe me because we share DNA. If she had simply said, you're right, I'm sorry, I should have said thank you, I do appreciate you, this entire situation would have, I mean, on impact, gone, boom. No explosion, no insults, just that's it. No Facebook crusade, but instead of humility, she chose hostility, right? And that tells you this was never about the errand, it was about entitlement. When someone reacts to a basic request for acknowledgement with personal attacks, that's not a healthy dynamic. That's someone who is used to access without accountability. And I love that this comment points out something important. You don't have to cut her off dramatically, but you absolutely do not have to keep volunteering for a role where you are undervalued. If she can't handle being gently corrected about gratitude without going nuclear, then yes, maybe she doesn't get Premier Sister services anymore. Support is mutual. Respect is required. And family is not a lifetime labor contract, not for one person. We help each other. All right, we have another comment. Yes, family helps each other, but they don't take advantage of each other either. This and only this. Tell it to the misguided family members who think that being a family member is tantamount to being a patsy. Let them deal with her unreasonable demands and ingratitude. Then let's see if they change their tune. Also agree. I mean, the family thinks she's golden and, is getting on the other sister that's actually the one that's right. It says, yes, family helps each other, but they don't take advantage of each other. Okay? Honestly, that's the whole thesis right here. That's the line. Family support, it does not equal unlimited access. Family loyalty does not equal silent tolerance. And being related to someone, it does not automatically make you their on call assistant. This idea that blood means you must absorb disrespect quietly is outdated and it's manipulative. If the extended family is so passionate about how you drop everything no matter what, then wonderful. Volunteer them. Let them go do the dirty minute or 30-minute drive, pardon me. The dirty work, the 30-minute drive. Let them rearrange their schedules. Let them handle the leaking brake fluid situation. They can experience the no thank you energy firsthand. It is very easy to preach sacrifice when you are not the one sacrificing, right? The second it becomes their time, their gas, their inconvenience, suddenly gratitude starts sounding a lot more reasonable. You are not refusing to help because you hate your sister. You're refusing to participate in a pattern where your kindness is treated like a given. If other relatives believe that makes you wrong, they are more than welcome to step up and prove how selfless they are, right? It's funny how quickly the choir quiets down when the collection plate reaches their row. Sometimes, All right, here's another comment. And the original poster had a response. Um, Need more info. When you told her no, did you say it was for her, not saying thank you for last time, or just no, sorry, I can't do it? It only matters because you said that she has never been a thank you type person. So you expecting her to change is kind of silly. Otherwise, it is 100% your prerogative to do or not do someone a favor. No explanation needed. And the original poster responded, I said, I'm sorry, but no, you'll have to find someone else to help you. You didn't even thank me for the last time. Messages devolved from there. Mostly her name calling and bashing, and me saying okay because I didn't want to stoop to her level of immaturity. We have talked about the thank you thing before. It is totally my bad for breaking my boundaries I had set for the sake of peace. Okay. So, comment 3 here. I think it's kind of ask whether you explained that your no was about the lack of gratitude. And your response makes it very clear that you did. You didn't shut her down with a vague excuse. That's a good thing. You said, I'm sorry, but no. You'll have to find someone else to help you. No, thank you for me last time. That's calm. It's direct. That is not aggressive. And from there, the messages devolve into her name calling while you kept your composure, I guess, and responded with okay. Because you refused to sink to her level. That's good. But that detail matters. It really does. You gave her context. You reminded her this has been an ongoing issue. You even discussed the gratitude thing before. So this was not a shocking, out of nowhere standard. So, of course, I mean, I'm on your side here. I'm on your side. She said, and, I do want to address the part where you said it was totally my bad for breaking your boundaries for the sake of peace. Okay. That right there is the growth moment. Okay. You had boundaries. You bent them to avoid conflict. The conflict happened anyway. That's the lesson. Keeping the peace by overextending yourself only delays the explosion. Okay. It doesn't prevent it. So no, expecting her, to suddenly become a gratitude fairy overnight may not be realistic, but expecting basic acknowledgement after repeated conversations is not silly. It's reasonable. And once you clearly restated that boundary and she chose insults over accountability, yeah, the responsibility for the fallout shifted entirely onto her. Okay? Entirely. I mean, absolutely, entirely. Sorry, that's where I'm at with this one. All right. The second story is a little bit longer, so we're going to go ahead and take our break now so we can finish it up all together. I don't want to piece it up. So be right back. Enjoy the song. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe. Consider becoming a member. Any of that is wonderful and welcome. Thank you so much. Be right back.
She came from the quiet storms, built a fire from the ground, turned a whisper to a warning. Now her voice shakes the town. Every setback was a lesson, every doubt became a key, unlocking something bigger. That's the rise of Boss B. When the lights go low, her vision hits high. She built a whole damn network off a promise and a try. Every sunrise, every moment, she's stacking legacy. This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's the queen of the comeback, the storm in the stream, crafting stories out of heartbeats, making visions out of dreams. Got thunder in the hustle, got a voice that cuts clean. Every mic she touches turns the power unseen. So let further spin the numbers, let the views rise slow or fast. Boss B doesn't measure wins by echoes of the past. This moment is a pivot, this season's history. Bow down to the founder of the BBTV dynasty. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's got fire in the head, it's got truth in the frame, got a heart that won't retire and a gift you can't name. Every loop, every letter, every dream she sets free, it's a love note to the world sign. Boss B. And the world keeps watching as the numbers climb, but she's counting all the moments, not the dollar signs. From the late night grind to the daylight scene, she's building something bigger than the algorithm's dream. Boss B rising, BBTV shining. Her story's rewriting, a legacy in real time. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. BBTV, where the stories breathe. BBTV, where the dreamers believe. Boss B rising, watch her take her place. This is BBTV, this is her grace.
All right, we are back. Now, I have another story for you. Let me pull this up here for you. Oop, up here. Okay, here we go. Am I the a hole for telling my daughter that if she can't be grateful for what she eats, then she doesn't have to eat at all? I think I heard that when I was a kid. I, 26 male, have a 8-year-old female daughter, Eva. Eva's mom and I were a fling. She got pregnant, and I was honest about not wanting to be a father. And she said that was fine and insisted that her mother was supportive and would help her. I now have a girlfriend, 23 female, and we had an unexpected pregnancy. Even though I never wanted kids, I am serious about my girlfriend, so I chose to father our child, whom I now love very much. She is May, one and a year and a half old female. About 2 months ago, Eva's mom reached out to me and said her life has made a turn for the worse and desperately needed help. She was currently living with a roommate and asked if I could keep Eva with me and would take her back as soon as possible. I was hesitant. My girlfriend and I live in a 1 bedroom apartment and aren't very well off, but I relented as long as she promised it would be something short term. Hmm. Here's the problem. My girlfriend and I thought it would be best if I become the stay at home parent as she makes more than I do. That means I'm in charge of making sure Eva is fed and such. As my girlfriend and I are so busy, it's always been convenient for us to just have microwavable meals on hand. When I went to the store, I saw these kid meals called kid cuisine and got a few varieties for each day. I thought things were okay until her mom called me, chewing me out for feeding Eva dog shit. Pardon me. I was very angry as I was doing her a big favor and asked Eva about this. Mm. She admitted to chatting her mom and told me she didn't like the food. I asked her why, as I asked her what kinds of food she liked, and she had told me she liked things like mac and cheese and spaghetti. She said it tasted weird and asked if she could eat my microwave noodles instead. I said no, they were already a little expensive and I need one for each day of the week and wouldn't have enough for myself. Um, okay. I was a bit frustrated, but I told her next week I'd get different ones. I got a few pizza and corn dog ones instead. That night, she threw a giant tantrum and said it wasn't good. I blew up and said I just wasted all that money for nothing. She got mad and said she wouldn't eat it, and I told her that is or if she can't be grateful for what she has, then maybe she shouldn't eat anything at all, and threw the rest away. She ran to the bathroom. There are so many things going on here. She ran to the bathroom crying, and of course, I get a call from her mom saying that was a horrible thing to say and do and chewed me out, but she doesn't get that I have a baby to take care of and can't deal with Eva's tantrums over nothing. Am I the a hole? Ooh, okay, hold on, because there's an edit before we get into so many different things. I think I need to clarify a few things that I couldn't before because of the word limit. Eva was mainly raised on gourmet foods from my ex's home country, as she had a grandma who was a very good cook and cooked all different kinds of these meals. She isn't used to American cuisine and doesn't like it. Most of the foods she usually ate were things like fancy acai bowls or even corn with coconut milk. She doesn't just eat kid cuisine. Just for dinner, as I'm up all night with a baby with a sleep disorder. Okay, wow. Let's talk about this because this one is not simple. and it's not clean. You are 26. You never wanted to be a father the first time around. You were honest about that. And now suddenly you are at full-time parenting an 8-year-old in a one-bedroom apartment while also caring for a toddler and navigating financial stress. Okay, I get this part. This is a pressure cooker situation. I'm not going to pretend it's easy. You're overwhelmed. You're stretched thin. You're probably exhausted. And when you're tired and broke and trying to keep everything afloat, patience, it gets real short, real fast. I understand that part. But here's the shift. Here's where the shift happens, okay? Um, Eva is 8. Okay, she did not choose this situation. Her mom's life fell apart. Okay, she got uprooted from the home she knew, from the food she knew, from the routines that she knew, and dropped into a new apartment with a dad who openly admits he didn't originally want to be a parent. That's a lot for a kid. And when she says the food tastes weird, that's not some grand statement of entitlement. Okay. That's an 8-year-old reacting to unfamiliar flavors, especially if she was raised on a specific cultural food. And suddenly she's eating frozen kid cuisine trays every night. Mm-mm. I get money's tight, man, but this is your kid. That's not about being spoiled either. Okay, that's about comfort and familiarity. Now, where you stepped over the line was telling her that if she can't be grateful, then maybe she shouldn't eat at all. She's 8 years old. What's she gonna do? Get a job and feed herself? And then you just throw it away. Why didn't you eat it if it's so great? I'm trying to be calm. Even if you didn't mean it literally, okay? Even if you were just frustrated, that kind of statement hits hard for a child who is already displaced. Food security is emotional security for kids. Saying maybe you shouldn't eat when she's already feeling unstable, obviously hungry, and it is going to land as rejection, not discipline. Okay? You are framing this as her being ungrateful, but what I see is a stressed out child and a stressed out parent colliding. The bigger issue isn't the pizza tray, it's that you still see this as doing her mom a favor. Once you agreed to have Eva live with you, even short term, you stepped into full parenting mode. There's no partials here. Okay, she's in your home. That means her needs are not secondary to convenience. It doesn't mean you need to become a gourmet chef. It means there's a middle ground. Basic pasta, rice, something affordable and simple. Come on, mac and cheese, a box of mac and cheese. Ramen noodles. Dude, ramen noodles. All kids love ramen noodles. Maybe even asking her to help pick one dinner within budget so she feels some control. Take her to the store with you. She's not a troll, she's your daughter. Your frustration, it makes sense. Your reaction did not, and it crossed the line. You're not evil, okay? You're overwhelmed. But when it comes to kids, overwhelmed doesn't excuse the threatening their basic needs. The real work here isn't about microwavable meals. It's about adjusting your mindset from I'm doing a favor to I'm parenting my child, even if you never plan to. I mean, you always knew it could happen. Come on. You always knew. All right, we have some comments, of course. Of course. Huh. So, ah, You're the a-hole. And yes, I fixed the words. You can't forking act like that. This is your forking child, a-hole. See, sorry, I like this one because it said the things I wanted to and didn't. Okay. I asked her why, as I asked her what kinds of food she liked, and she had told me she liked things like mac and cheese and spaghetti. Kid cuisine. This is literally the cheapest food which exists. Eva just got ripped out of her life, and you are her father. See all the things I wanted to say. I swear it's a comment. It's not me. I wouldn't use forking that many times. And you can see here I also changed another word. You need to get your poop together. Yes, I said poop. Try to comprehend things from her perspective. You are the person who threw a tantrum over nothing, not her. Amen. You know, this one comes in hot and says you're the a-hole. And I get why they're that mad, because the more issue, the core issue, pardon me, isn't kid cuisine. It's the attitude behind it. This is your child, not a roommate's kid, not a favor for your ex. Your child. You did this. She didn't climb on top of herself, okay? And when you treat feeding her like some optional charity work, people are going to drag you, because that's mindset leaks out in everything you do. Eva didn't get ungrateful, okay? She got uprooted. She got pulled out of her normal life, her normal food routines, dropped into a cramped apartment with a baby and a dad who is already resentful. That's scary for a kid. So when she says the frozen tray tastes weird, that is not her being dramatic. That is her being ached and stressed out of out of the walls, okay? And yes, you asked what she liked, and what she said, mac and cheese. A box is cheap. And spaghetti. Oh, come on. Spaghetti is not hard and it is not expensive. But when you make that meal, make the spaghetti, sit down and eat it with her. Find out what she likes. She's your child. But you went and bought a brand that barely resembles what she meant. Those kids' meals are cheap, but they're also weird. Okay. The textures are weird, especially after eating acai bowls, right? The taste is weird. And if she was raised on home cooked food, of course it's going to taste like plastic to her. Now, here's the part where the comment is dead on. Let me say something. Kid cuisines, if you're going to feed that to a child, make it one of those treats for a toddler, because that's all they're good for. Okay? When a toddler won't eat what you've cooked, pop in a kid cuisine. An 8-year-old, look, throwing the food away and telling a child maybe she shouldn't eat it all is not discipline. It's a power move, and it's a cruel one. You're allowed to be overwhelmed, but you don't get to make food a weapon. If you want to fix this, you don't need gourmet. You need basic parenting. Apologize. Apologize. Tell her you were wrong to say that. Tell her she will always have food. Then set a simple plan. 1 or 2 affordable dinners she can tolerate each week. You can have leftovers. Make a meal. Sit down with her at the table. Involve her in choosing them. Because right now, she doesn't need a lecture about gratitude. She needs to feel safe. She needs to be 8 years old. Period. She needs to know that she's not an inconvenience. You're crushing her. Stop it. Okay. He's not much of a father. Agreed. Honestly, even if he wasn't her father, he's still an a-hole for speaking to and treating any child like this. Also, let's not forget, when the cheap crap he bought tasted bad, he refused to share his expensive noodles because that was too much money to spend on the child. he didn't want. And he told her so. She's not just getting a temporary, hopefully very roof over her head, foods on debate. She's also getting a boatload of child trauma. Amen. Amen. That one's not pulling punches, right? They're basically saying, even if you weren't her father, talking to a child like that would still make you wrong. And the noodles detail is what really lit the fire for me. Because from the outside, it looks like this. The cheap meal is for her. The better noodles are for you. And when she asked to share, you said no because they were expensive and you needed them for yourself. Pause and really hear how that lands. It lands to an 8-year-old who already feels secondary on top of hunger. That doesn't translate as budgeting, that translates as you don't rank. And whether you meant it that way or not, kids don't process nuance. They process patterns. She sees the better option exists. She asked, and she's told she's not worth the cost. That sticks. The comment is also right about something uncomfortable. Trauma doesn't require screaming or physical harm. It builds from repeated moments where a child feels unwanted, inconvenient, or unsafe. You didn't want to be a dad originally. That's on record. If she senses even a hint that she's a burden, every small conflict reinforces that story in her head. Now, does that mean you're doomed as a father? No, no. But it does mean you have to be intentional. Budgeting is real. Money is tight. That's valid. It's valid, but it's doable, and you know this. But when you frame it in a way that sounds like I'm not sacrificing my comfort for you, it creates a hierarchy she will remember. If you want to undo that, the fix is simple but not easy. Okay? Reassurance, shared meals. Make the meal with her. Get her a stool if she's too short. Do whatever you need to. Be a parent. Be a parent. And very clear messaging that she is not an inconvenience. Because right now, that's the wound people in these comments are reacting to. Okay? Got a couple more. So I wonder if he grunts about having to peel the lid back for her. I bet he does. Or press microwave buttons. Then doesn't even put the packaging in the bin and dumps the whole lot in the sink for his not wife to clean up when she gets home. I wonder. That's a little over the top, but still sarcastic, and I love it. The reason it stings is because it's questioning your effort level. They're basically asking, are you actually trying? Or are you doing the bare minimum with resentment attached? And I think that's it. Because kids can feel that energy. Even if you don't say anything, they can feel it. Have you hugged her? That's my question. Have you hugged that child? She does belong to you, after all. She shares your DNA. She probably looks like if you take a good look. You know, if dinner feels like a chore you hate doing for her, she's going to react to that more than the actual food. Now, we don't know if you're grunting and leaving messes, but the perception right now is that you're inconvenienced by her existence. That's the part you need to correct immediately. Even simple meals can be served with care. Even microwave food can come with, hey, I know this isn't what you're used to, but we're figuring it out together. The tone matters more than the tray, right? All right, one last one. It's a little bit longer, but my answer isn't, okay? I'm having a hard time believing this is even real. I know, right? He can't even tell the story without contradicting himself. She likes mac and cheese and spaghetti, which are the most basic Americanized dishes there are beyond cheeseburger and hot dog. Agreed. Then turns around and says she's a gourmet eater that doesn't like basic kid food when she already said she did. See, now somebody's speaking my language. If not having enough food for you and her is a problem and kids' cuisine is so delicious, you couldn't just trade. See, I said that. That's a whole lot of nonsense and unnecessary words to ultimately just say, I don't like this kid and don't consider her my problem. Blunt, but also true. I'm not going to do more than keep her alive, and I only took her because she's half of my problem legally, but not in my heart. And we don't want DSS to get involved, especially when mom says this is just temporary and she hasn't bothered us in 8 years. I have a favorite biological child, and I'm just biding my time. I resent the fact that I got someone pregnant that I don't love and didn't realize the consequences of my actions. And now I have a new life and don't consider this child part of it. Honestly, at this point, you're going out of your way to be the worst kind of human being. Amen. Sorry. And it's not even about the food. Agreed. Totally agreed. And I mean, who wouldn't? They're basically calling out what they see as the subtext, not the surface. They're saying this isn't about mac and cheese versus gourmet food. It's about inconsistency and attitude. On one hand, you say she likes basic American dishes like spaghetti and mac and cheese. On the other hand, you say you describe her as this gourmet eater and can't tolerate kid food, right? That contradiction makes people question whether the issue is actually her taste or your frustration. Frustration. Let me say that one more time. And the trade comment. That one hits because if the meals are fine, why not swap once in a while? From the outside, it looks less like budgeting and more like drawing a line about who gets the better option. But the part that really fuels the anger is this comment is the emotional undertone. They're reading resentment. They're reading, I didn't want this child. I have a new life now, and I'm doing the minimum. Whether that's accurate or not, that's the energy people are picking up on. And here's the hard truth. When you describe her as a short-term obligation and repeatedly emphasize how reluctant you were to parent her, that narrative, it writes itself. Yeah. If you don't want people to believe you resent her, your behavior has to contradict that assumption, not just by keeping her housed, okay, but by showing active care. Because this really isn't about frozen dinners. It's about whether she feels like your daughter or a temporary inconvenience. And right now, your tone is what's putting you on trial more than your grocery choices. It truly is. And I can't believe there's a human being out there like this. And I had to bring that to the front because, y'all, I mean, come on. Please tell me there's not real parents out there like this. I bet there's worse. There's got to be worse, right? Because this is one of the worst kinds that I can see. You cannot, 8 years old, you cannot let a child that age feel that unwanted and unloved and resented. It wasn't her fault. It was yours and her mother's. I don't get that. It's not the child's fault. Quit punishing her. Please. All right, y'all. This one lands heavy, and it wasn't really about food. It was about pressure, resentment, insecurity, and what kids absorb when adults are stretched thin. Parenting is not about keeping a roof overhead and food in a microwave tray. It's about safety and tone and the message a child walks away with after a hard moment. Being overwhelmed is human. Taking it out on a child is where the line gets drawn. The good news, moments can be repaired, okay? Apologies matter. Adjustments matter. Effort matters. So I want to know what you think, okay? Is this dad just drowning and reacting poorly, or is this something deeper that needs a full mindset shift? Drop your thoughts below for me, okay? Keep it respectful, and as always, we'll keep breaking it down together, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. It is my time. Why do all the bees have messed up eyes? Probably because it's, I don't know, AI. Maybe. Thanks for asking. Thanks for being here. Alrighty, y'all. I'm on out of here, but you know me. I got to do my little promos before I let y'all go because Tuber Chat is the best. You already saw my Iron Sharpening Iron Universe besties over there, and my plus sister was here. Love you, sweetheart. I will see you tomorrow for Freak Out Friday, and I've already got some juicy mess to go with. I do. You know how I do. All right, you guys. Love you. Y'all take care. Buzz you later.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface level advice, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why.
If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description. If you're enjoying this show, subscribing is the easiest way to support what's being built here on BBTV. You'll see the join button right next to subscribe. No pressure, no expectations, just an option for people who want to support the channel in a real way. We're live every day at 3 p.m. Central now. And don't worry, we didn't change the heat, just the clock. And if you've got a story you want to share, send it in. Anonymous is always fine.
A boss be rising.